Hello and welcome back. I'm so excited to be setting up for September in my bullet journal. Um, August went by very quickly, but I guess September is here and it feels like a fresh start this time, so I'm very excited. As you can see, I am jumping into an autumn theme. For September, I am drawing inspiration from this image that was on the cover of a newspaper I found in Philadelphia, and the textures and colors just really caught my eye and drew me in. So I cut that out and I'm taping it in to be my combo cover page and goals page. So throughout the month, I'm planning on using pumpkins and sage, and then these flowers that you see me start doing here, I'm basing them off the yarrow flower, but I later will do these in yellow so they look more like a number of other plants, but I really like the touch that they bring to this and sort of layered textures. Also adding in, not here, but throughout the month, I'm hoping to incorporate a goose as well. So wild goose is another animal associated with Mabon, which is just sort of perfect in my mind for this time of the year. The wild goose has a great story in multiple cultures of what it means and what it stands for, of going out on your own and seeking wisdom away from where you are, seeking wisdom even if you don't have company doing that. For those of a more Christian tradition, the Holy Spirit or the movement of God, the inspiration of God, is considered to be like a wild goose. So just a really fun thing to use for this time of year. So the white I'm currently putting in is with 3 different white gel pens. I'm using a Uniball Signo in bold, a Uniball Signo in a thinner point, which I don't actually know what it is, and then a white jelly roll. I'm really pleased with how it worked on this newsprint. It didn't soak in too much and still stayed relatively crisp. So my colors this month, I used Crayola Super Tips, a Tombow Twin Tone, and my Artist Loft dual brush watercolor markers. So I met someone new this past month in August, and we'd known each other for, I don't know, maybe 5 hours, when she said to me, "You're an autumn person, aren't you?" And I think that is so just accurate for me. I love autumn and I feel so alive and excited when the weather turns cool and there are leaves and just different fruits and vegetables and things. Oh, and there's Melville coming to inspect. Both cats make appearances in this video. I was out of town for nearly a week and they are very pleased to have me home. So here what I'm doing, I am hoping to keep some of this almost embroidery sort of folk-arty theme going. And I'm doing a goose with a pumpkin, sage, and yarrow in this sort of half wreath shape together. And I am hoping to keep some of this element together. One thing I discovered is hard for me though is that I tend to draw things very small, and this style looks best in a larger style so you can see patterns within it and things like that. So what I'm setting up now, or will be setting up under this goose, is going to be my calendar. Last month I tried a full calendar at a glance, but it still wasn't quite right for some of the things I needed or wanted. So this month I am doing a spin off the more original system with the dates down the side, and then I'm dividing it into different columns. So I have a column for myself, a column for my husband, a column for some other family members whose lives I'm involved with pretty heavily at the moment, a column from Instagram, and then also a column for tracking my gratitude. This past month, I was grateful for so many things, but I just forgot about my gratitude spread entirely. I don't know if this ever happens to you with your bullet journal, but I hit this point where I had more pages I wanted to have ribbons in than ribbons. And I have 3 ribbons, so that's kind of problematic. So again, I'm trying to consolidate down to help me achieve one of my goals, which is to put a stronger focus on gratitude. In general, it's a great thing to do, and it's also really important for this season. On the right side here, I am once again tweaking from last month. So I have my cleaning tracker there, doing a few format changes, my tarot tracker, my mood tracker, and I am changing a few habits, including I am working on trying to learn a language with Duolingo. So I wanted a place to put that in to check that off. And then instead of having multiple sort of columns for my relationship tracker, oh, here comes the more again. Instead of having multiple columns, I did one column under the heart, and we'll add a color code down to the bottom to kind of code that day as well. Yeah. So I'm liking the way these colors are coming together really well. It is exciting for me looking at this journal so far, and just, yeah, I'm energized to get into September. Oh, and there you see I'm putting in a line on the bottom. Because there are 30 days in September, I was able to leave my line on the bottom to total things like, my most common tarot suit, my most common number, and then I'll probably also total things like, how many times I dusted and things like that. So in the top right there, I started with a little sage doodle, and then some more flowers, and lettering. Yeah, I'm very excited about September and seeing where things go. I do have to confess, though, that I went back and forth about whether or not to include the pumpkins. Even though that first image had a pumpkin in it, a pumpkin is definitely in with the associations for Mabon and autumn and all those lovely things. I guess my first thought with it was more of a Samhain, but I think I've decided some other ways I can kind of keep that separate. So here, I was so pleased I thought to do this. I put down some washi that I don't like, that just came in sets, to keep me from accidentally coloring in the columns that I use color keys in. So I, did my gray back and forth for every line, and wanted to be able to make sure I, could still use a mood tracker. And then actually on the dates over there on the left, I did the even number instead of the odd, but I think that works well. So what you just saw, when I took off the washi, it did tear my paper. So I'm using a scrap piece there to paste it back in. It tore pretty badly, like it almost completely sheared through the page, but thankfully did not. Here I'm adding in a little more. I did add in a little sage cluster there. Kind of wish I had it now, or I don't know, maybe I'll keep adding in more doodles. I'm not sure, but I really like the way the flowers look on that. So here I've divided out my goals between home, yard, self, and business. And I don't know, maybe these divisions will change again next month, but I think these are in a good place for me to get started. So I'm very excited to share this with you. At the end of August, I started playing around with a different layout. Just as happens with life, things change and I need different things in my weeklies. So here I have a bar across the top with room to write events for each day. And then I also have a row for my husband's events and trackers, and then a row for those family members I mentioned whose lives I'm strongly involved with right now, and a final row for dinner. It was working really well for me near the end of August, and I'm excited to take it into September with me. You can see on the left there I do have my mini calendar because it really helps ground me to see where I am in the month with that. Under that running week at the top, I have a weekly to-do list on the left. And that's just like what my weekly to-do lists have been, where the running style, so I categorize what sort of task it is, which area of my life this is for, and then I have the days of the week across so I can mark which day I accomplish it, which days I've worked on it if I haven't completed it. And then the right hand side, I put in a small doodle, of course, just to add a little pop, and then a box for my list of meals I've planned for the week. So things I already have the ingredients ready for to pull from for my dinners each night. And then I leave the rest of the space open to see how the week goes. Maybe I'll need a second page of tasks, or maybe I'll need it for notes or find something else in my life I want to add in there. So I'm really enjoying the combination of structure and flexibility that this weekly has been giving me. And that's it for my September plan with me. See, I have my goals, my cover page as one, with this really great and inspiring art. And here I'm showing you the pens that I used for the white, just in case you're having trouble finding white pens. I don't know, I feel like some days each of these is better than another. But these are some ideas to get you started and what I used for this time. As you can see, it is a shorter spread it's in advance from last time, and that is because I did compile the everyday magic and the gratitude log into a single. You can see there I made small notes for what each column is for, and then have my tracker on the side. I just love the way this looks completed. It makes me so happy. And then here is my first weekly. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a blessed Mabon. See you soon.